Okay, Sarah, you ready? I cannot hear you. Can you double check?
Now, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you good. So this is a mock interview. I don't know if you know how it works, but the bottom line is you really want to be on the top one third of the ranking list today. You don't want to be in the DNR. That means do not rank list. And people, if they go to do not rank list, they're never gonna match. Um, all right, are you ready?
Okay,
So
let's do this.
let me give me 1 second. Let me plug this one in. All right. Good morning, Dr. Trin. Welcome.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Very good. How was your day so far?
It's been great. Flew here yesterday. I enjoyed the city. So this morning is
Okay.
great too.
Wow. Have you been here before?
Yeah, I've been to New York before. Yes.
Okay. So what do you like about New York?
I like the atmosphere. I like the public transport, which is really great. I don't have to like really drive a lot, and people here is nice also. It's a great city.
I see. Oh, I look at your application. It's quite interesting. You grew up in Vietnam, right? But you went to medical school in Europe, and
Yes.
now you applied to residency. So tell me more about that. Why? Will you try to make a global citizen?
Yeah, so I was born and grew up in Ho Chi Minh City, Vietnam, and lived there for 18 years. After high school, I decided that I wanted to try something new, and I knew that I want to do medicine. So I applied it for medical school in Hungary, in the city of Debrecen, University of Debrecen,
Hmm,
and they give me a very good opportunity because the program is very flexible. I can study there. I can do practice in Vietnam if I want to. I can go to the US to do some clinical clerkship if I want to. So it's really great for me. So that's why I decided to choose that. And my last year of medical school, I did about 6 month rotation in the US, and I love that. I love that times a lot. So that's why I decided that I want to do residency in the US.
I see. It sounds like from the very beginning you like to become a global citizen. You like to go abroad, and it sounds like the best knowledge. All right. Um, so why pediatrics? Why not medicine? Why not surgery?
So I only have a very good relationship with kids. I love them, and they seem to love me. That's the first impression for me. And then do when I learn start med school and start doing clinical clerkship, I realized that my personality is very fitting. I love the mission of pediatric, that you are not just taking care of the disease right now, you're taking care of the future of the child. It's going to be a long term journey with the kids. So it's really great mission. That's why I love it.
Okay. So do you remember any particular case or anything that really confirmed or reject your choice with pediatrics?
Oh yeah. So when I did my clerkship in the New York in the Brooklyn at the Wyckoff High Medical Center, I had a patient in a clinic who was born very small for his age in a different hospital, and I think that the pediatric at that hospital, they didn't know that he was born small for his age. And then when his family moved to Brooklyn, they went to a new pediatrician who like say that he was small for his age, and they think that the parents are mistreating the child, so they contact social services. The child was taken from his family for the entire year, and I was lucky that I was with the team that helped to like go through all the medical record, of that child to prove that the child was not mistreated, but it just like that it's normal growth because he was born small. It's not because that he was like treated. He wasn't like mistreated or anything like that. So finally, at the end, the father get reunited with his son. So it's really great for me, and I learned a big lesson from that too. That like a lot of pediatricians think that like plot and growth chart is very boring, but for me, I learned a lesson that every thing that we do in pediatric has a reason, and even one mistake can cause a
Hmm,
lot of like damaging to
I see.
not the patient but the family as well.
So it sounds like you spend a lot of time in Hungary. I mean, for your medical trainings. How would you compare and contrast between the U.S. healthcare system here? Because you sounds like you do a couple months in rotation here. How would you compare the two systems?
Hungary is like other European country. They have a socialist medical system, which means the government pay for like take care of the medical costs of most of the patient, which is a good thing for a lot of people. But the like drawback of that system is most of the time the patient have to be on wait list for a very long time.
Mm,
So like even if you need just a chest X-ray, if it's not emergent, you might have to stay on the waiting list for like 6 months or something like that. It's
really?
very yes. So it's very like for me it feels very awkward just to wait for like 6 months for a chest X-ray. So when I came to the US and experienced the system, you guys have this Medicare to help for those who cannot afford healthcare. But you guys also have the private insurance company, which help expedite the medical treatment a lot compared to like in Europe.
I see.
So mm, that's my so I think both systems they have their own like pros and cons, but I feel more comfortable working in the US environment compared to the European.
I see. That's very interesting. I mean, sometimes we receive comments like that too. It's I think the two systems both have called pro and cons, and sometimes if we can find a middle point that you can combine the two, that will be perfect, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so too.
Now, today we have many applicants and they have great score. They have a lot of activity just like you. So tell me why I should pick you over other people.
Okay. So as you can see that from my experience that I had experience from like three very different medical systems. So I can bring that to like your program to like a global view of like how medicine is progressing in the US and in other countries as well. Also, I am fluent in Vietnamese. I can speak a little bit Hungarian, and I learning Spanish also. So I I feel confident that I will be able to help if there is any need for my language skill. Also, I spent 6 months in the US. I feel very comfortable with the medical system here. I've been dealing with the um, medical electronic record, the billing system. I'm familiar with as well. So
Mhm.
so I think that I will be able to like fit in right away and to like start working.
I see. So how did you know about our program?
Okay, so I look up on the pediatric program in New York City because that's one of the city that where I want to be. So I looked it up, and then I found your program as a community hospital, which is very close to my heart. I want to take care of the community, and your program has a small group of residents, which I like. I like a small program where I can get more interaction with my attending. I get to know more about my fellow residents. So that's why. I choose your program.
I see. Now, when I look at your CV and your informations, it, it's quite interesting that. So, what is your plan? If you match into the US, what would be the next step? Because you grew up in Vietnam, study in Hungary, and now if you match into the US, what is the next step?
So my next step is I want to get a fellowship in the infectious disease.
Mhm.
Uh, as you know, like Vietnam is a tropical country, and they always have a lot of infectious cases and epidemic that shouldn't be happen. And I want to like get specialized in the infectious medicine, and then I can bring the new technology, the new knowledge back to my country and help out like my country as well as to educate the new generation of doctors in Vietnam as well.
Okay, so your plan is pursue a fellowship in infectious disease, and after that you go back to Vietnam. Okay,
Yes.
all right. You have any question for me?
Okay. So I love teaching, so I want to know that what kind of teaching experience I can get from your program. As from the hospital that I rotating, they have the medical student come so that the resident have a chance to teach the medical student as well. Will I get that experience from your program?
Sure. We very proud about our teaching experience. We, uh, it's a community hospital, but we are affiliated with medical school, and we emphasize a lot on resident teaching. In particular, the junior one start teaching intern, and then the senior will lead the team. We also incorporate with medical students as a part of our team. And also we have pharmacists, we have clinical pharmacists sometimes round with us to teach about pharmacy. We believe the best way to provide patient care is continue constantly update our knowledge. And we doing that by education, educate ourselves and everyone in our program. So if you come here, I can assure you that there's a lot of experience in teaching. It's up to you how much you can make out of that, but teaching actually it's going to require per ACGME. So don't worry about that. If you love teaching, you're gonna love our program. Okay.
Okay, that's great.
Any other questions?
I think that for now.
All right. Actually, I have two more questions for you. Um, one thing that also strike me is because of your experience and also with your global citizenship. So, what would you consider is your weakness?
My weakness is like I am a perfectionist. Sometimes I spend a lot of time like focusing on getting the detail right. So I have a little bit a hard time to like delegate my responsibility to others. But after doing my clerkship in the US, I learned more that like you have to be able to work as a team. So I'm improving on that aspect of me. Yeah.
And how did it come out?
It getting much better now. So when I was a sub intern in the Brooklyn, I was able to delegate the task, the daily task to my junior medical student, and I can teach them at the same time as well. I give them a task, they report back to me, and then I give them feedback on how they're doing. So I think now I see the point of delegating the task. It's not just like ease my load, but also an opportunity for me to help my junior medical student to improve as well. So I feel more
I,
comfortable with that now.
yeah. So I mean, everyone have weakness and strength. So you, it sounds like you found your weakness and you improve it over time. Um, Another question that I like to ask you is pediatricians. A lot of time we go into this because we truly love kids. But a lot of time we have difficult parents. You said that you love kids, but I'm not sure how would you perceive or how would you consider parents in the picture within your patient care contact?
Yeah, patient is a very important aspect of pediatric.
Mhm.
If you can get the parents on board with your treatment plan, the home process will be much easier. So what I learned from my clerkship is that you should explain things carefully to the parents, making sure that they understand what's going on with their child, and keeping them in the loop, letting them making the decision when you can,
Mhm.
and be compassionate, like be understanding that they are in a very stressful time, that their child is sick, and you show some compassionate to the patient. And I found that most of the time the patient accept that very well, and they're very cooperating because we all share the same goal that we want to make the kid better.
I see. All right, Dr. Trin, it's my pleasure to see you today, and I wish you the best. Any question for me before you leave?
Okay, I think that's it. It's a very love lovely interview. Thank you for your time. Enjoy talking to you a lot.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right, Sarah, what do you think?
I think I need to improve on making eye contact.
Okay, good. What else?
Still say okay a lot.
That's right. I don't like it, and I'm
Yeah,
sure people don't like it. This
yeah.
is
I think
quite
that.
common. I noticed actually until their lecture, I saw many Vietnamese people. We start with so and okay. And to me, let's put it this way. I prefer not to do that. And I hope my resident won't do the same. If we don't
Mhm.
have anything to say, sometimes you see me, I just keep silence. And then I start again. When we talk, you see that keep your tone up and down, and then you stop so you can catch people's attentions. We don't have to go keep going like this, like a machine. But the point is you keep eye contact, and once you see people interest, you can emphasize, you can go faster, and you can make them excited. This is time for you to make an impression.
Mhm.
Beside those so and okay, what I recommend is every question you answer, you should go back to only one point. Why you? And here's my example. I can ask, or he or she can ask about any question. I ask about globally. And then this is your chance to say how versatile you are, how well adapted. And then you can link, since I grew up in Vietnam, actually in Hungary, I enjoy multiple cultures, this and this. And you know what? New York City is the place, it's a melting pot from all over the world. I can see myself really well to this with my cultural background.
Mhm.
In particular, this area, when I walk around this morning, I see a lot of people from different colors. I can tell you this is my place. Okay, so that's how I would answer that. Another question that tell me a story why and why you pick pediatrics. You can say whatever story, but you can always say, you know what, this story reconfirm or re-emphasize how, remind me. And this morning when I walked to your hospital, I saw a patient that remind me about this. So that's how you started. This morning when I walked to this, and that again confirmed my calling for pediatrics. And you stop right there and you say, you know what, years ago or months ago when I did this rotation. So that's how you catch people attention. When we present a story, we like to tell in a way that relates to the listener, right? We can say whatever we want, but if you see my technique, I always try to grab the audience first. And once I have their attention, then I can bring my point.
Mhm.
And this is always true in public speaking and also in residency because the program director interviews like 10 or 15 people a day. They exhausted, they tired, they really whatever people said, it's just, oh. But if you really, you know what? When I walked to your hospital this morning, I saw this kid, and you stop right there, and he will, and that's what you say. And that remind me about the story that I remember 6 months ago. You see that?
Okay.
So those are the technique and skill that you learn over time. And the other one is when you talk about weakness, remember when people ask about your weakness, they want to see improvement. So I will keep go on. I say, for example, one of my weaknesses is, well, you start with my weakness and then you say, for example, years ago, I like to do everything. I'm a perfectionist. As a result, I don't have time. I can't even this. So when I found my weakness, I wrote that this is my goal. I wrote down this. So last time when I was in this rotation, I dedicate my task to my medical student and I checked that. And you know what? I found that now I accomplished both my task and my medical student task. So when I delegate appropriately, not only I save my time, but also I become more efficient. So you really want to tell the listener an example in the past. Remember in the past, you never say, well, I will try to do this in the future. No, a really good example. And that knock it out. So when the listener remembered, I say, oh yeah, she mentioned weakness, but I forget. I just remember how good she is when she teach medical students. Okay, so those are my point. And one more thing about question. One of my favorite questions that I like to show the resident or you is, you should ask about the faculty or the program director, why they here. You can say, Dr. Tran, I look at your CV, it's very impressive. You can go almost anywhere in the US, so why you pick this hospital? When we ask about people what they like, what they accomplish, I can guarantee everyone loves to talk about that. You ask me what I accomplished or what I like or what I did over the year, yeah, I can tell you for hours. That's a human nature. Okay. And then when Dr. Tran going on how good he is and why he is, what we cut this, and then when he just finished, and you say, you know what, Dr. Tran, I can share with you because we have so many similarities. I love teaching. I just like you. Okay. So that's create another personal bonding level. And also remember a lot of time when the applicants go to those interviews, they forget this is a two-way interview. You ask about the person at the personal level, how much you care about that. And if he's new here, you can ask, oh, Dr. Tran, it sounds like you just started this program for 6 months. What happened? What did you do before? But you ask in a polite way, right? You say, you know what, I'm very impressed. I look at your CV and it sounds like you are a very good pediatrician with a subspecialty training in ID. Why would you pick this hospital? This must be a very good hospital or something that's calling you. And then yes, he will go on say this and this. And occasionally they say, I don't like this and I don't like this and this. But you can say, or you can say, well, but I look at your CV, it sounds like you are a good problem solver. I'm sure when you come here, I can see in the future that the residency program, they could change. And I'd be happy to be part of that because I can see that we can be a good team because just like you, I like to solve problems. I like to improve change. Make sense? So those are the skills that you really pay attention to your listener. You don't keep up talking. So my technique when I show you guys is wait, listen to the focus on the listener, and you will become flexible. You give information at the speed or at the pace that you feel like they just about to be hungry. And when they're hungry, you feel a little bit more. Okay? The worst interview is I go up from Vietnam, I blah, blah, blah. And then when you finish 5 minutes, and then it's really boring. Give just a little bit a piece of information. Or you see the doctor, his name Chinese, and you say, are you Chinese by any chance? Or are you Russian or by any chance? Try to have some bondings. And if he say, oh, from Russia, you know what? I was in Hungary. We're not that far away, something like that. You try to remember or create a personal bonding as much as possible. after 50 minutes, when you left the room, he remember a couple things. Oh, Sarah, oh, she mentioned about my country. I like it. Sarah, she like how she asked about my previous training. So those are the things that you can remember. They know that you from the file already. You don't need to impress anything from your score or anything.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so those are techniques that I share with people over the year, and most of them doing really well once they master this skill. So why don't we come back? We do another. You have phone call interview on Monday, right?
Yes.
Okay. So if you want, we can do a quick one on Sunday night. Okay, or something. I just want to make sure that you feel comfortable, and then as we go on, we do a couple more.
Okay. So
Okay.
tomorrow. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, tomorrow I will be busy all day, but on Sunday would be more ideally. And remember, I recorded for you on YouTube. You can watch it tonight, and pay attention to what I say and write it down, because the technique I'm sharing with you, it's about 10 years of accumulation of teaching resident and intern and fellow, everyone doing residency. And even actually my people here, the resident, they like to do mock interview with me for fellowship, because it's just like a natural. It's you learn it because you focus on the listener, and that truly the technique. Just listen, pay attention to the listener, and you get where you like to go.
Okay.
Questions?
No, not now. Thanks.
Yes. Okay, good. Okay, have a good
Okay.
night. And
You too.
wait, are you in Vietnam now? Or are you back in the US?
Yeah. I'm in Vietnam now. I'm flying probably next week to the US.
Okay, all right. Thank you. All right, see you, Sarah.